Hi, my name is Jen Svitura, and this is what the Lord has done for me. So starting my career, I went to college at Southern Adventist University, and I did my degree in public relations with a minor in marketing. And I was so excited because in my first year, I was undecided. I didn't know what God was calling me to do. And then I was asking God to give me a sign, and it was just a random day on campus, and she wasn't even one of my friends at that time, but we were just randomly passing by each other, and I started speaking to her, and I usually don't do that, and she just started conversating about her major, and she told me that her major was like in the comms area, and that was kind of my sign. After that, I started doing more research, talking to the director of that department, hey, like, what could I do with my career? And it just clicked for me, like, this was the degree for me, and this is what God was calling me to do. So I finished my fourth degree, I graduated, I got a job in a really cool nonprofit. But then after a time, I got let go due to the economic states and financial state of the world. And it was just so disappointing. But I still had faith. I was like, God is going to give me a job. He put me here for a reason. He put me in this degree for a reason. But 1 month went by, 2 months went by, and I'm like, God, what's going on? Like, where's my job? Where's where you called me to next? Like, I want to continue to make a difference. 3 months went by and I was freaking out. I was crying, I was stressing, I was frustrated. I wasn't understanding why I continued to be unemployed, and I felt like I wasn't living in my purpose. And I was like, what am I supposed to do next, And then 4 months went by and I had an opportunity, and this was a really, really cool opportunity. It was an application out of like 4,000 participants. And so I made it to the last final round. It was like 40, I was against 40 people, and they were gonna pick around 15 to 20 individuals. And so I thought this was my sign. This is what God wants me to do. It was such a cool opportunity. It would have helped me grow in my career. And right when I thought I was gonna get it, I didn't. And it was such a heartbreaking time for me. I wanted to give up. I didn't want to pursue my purpose anymore. I was so over it. I was like, Lord, like, I'm tired of looking for a job. Like, I would just stay at home and not work ever again. But right in that moment, right when you're about to break, is when God gives you a glimpse of hope. And that glimpse of hope was, I went to church one Sabbath, and I saw this organization speaking in front of the church, like, if you would like to volunteer. And that organization was SALT Outreach over here. And I was curious. I was like, I wonder if they're looking for someone, someone that would be interested in me doing, marketing and PR and stuff like that. So I sent them an email. I was like, hey, for another position, it wasn't like a position in my career, but I just wanted a job at that time. And they called me back. They were like, oh, we saw your resume. I think we have a better role for you. So I wasn't even necessarily looking for my degree. I just wanted a job. And time went by and the HR lady did not call me. So I was like, maybe that's a sign. Maybe I'm not supposed to get this. But then people around me, my support system was like, hey, just call them back. You just never know. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they forgot. So I called back again. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I meant to call you. It's just been very hectic. So she scheduled the interview, and I did the interview. I did 2 rounds, and it was crazy that the day that I found out that I got the job, I was so excited. And I was so nervous. I was like, I haven't been working for 5 months. What's gonna happen? But I know it was God's plan, because even talking to the person who hired me was like, we've been praying for you for like over 3 years. We've been praying for someone in this department for over 3 years. And we went through previous interviews, but we just never chose someone. So I think I was here for a reason. I got the job for a reason. And I'm here, making a change, doing it for another nonprofit, but in my community. So I think that was just a life-changing moment for me, and it happened recently. I've been working here for a month. So for any young person who feels like they can't find their purpose, they feel lost, that there's hope. There's still hope, right? When you're at your edge, at your cusp, God is going to give you what He has been putting in your path. You just have to be patient, wait, and sit with Him and His Word.